Calgary, Alberta is best known for its Western lifestyle, Rocky Mountain view, and culturally diverse society. While all three combined make up one of Western Canada's largest cities, they don't tell the story of what goes on behind the scenes. This is YYC Underground.
I'd say I just like all the different genres and different moods and different things it has to offer. There's, if you're feeling down one day, there's music for that, and if you're in a better mood, there's music for that too. So
I like the variety of art. Like there's music, there's paintings, there's drawings, there's dance, and I think that each of them cater to the person really well.
Art, again, would be an expression of who you are. I think it's a really diverse thing. Like, it can be in drama, it can be paintings, dancing, anything. Art is what you make it.
I think it's pretty weak right now. A lot of it's underground.
Again, art is part of my everyday life, I consider myself artistic, creative person. So that drives my day-to-day, being creative, appreciating other people's art, collaborating with arts. Yeah.
I like to keep it simple. I just like, basic stuff, real Americana, plaid jackets, toques,
Right.
jeans, right? Stuff like that. High fashion stuff I just don't get.
Music means, to me, finding soul in yourself and being happy and just bringing up your energy.
Mike, let's do this, yo. Hold up, wait a minute, is this mic on? I wanna ventilate my feelings on this tight song, cause I've been sitting analyzing this all night long, and now I'm thinking that I'm losing it.
So Midwest Mindset's basically like a live instrument-driven hip-hop band. We're 6 members, so we have drummer, keys player, guitar and bass, vocalist, DJ, everything. So basically, as like a live group, we're not playing anything over recorded tracks. It's all live music. It's all written by us, composed by us, and that's basically what Midwest Mindset is. We rate real hip hop. It's not like fake club music. We have clubbier songs, but it still has like a real message to it, and stuff that's true to us.
Calgary's underground music scene is like awesome, but it is underground. It's sort of, there's magical niches of talent hidden all over the place, except they are somewhat divided and separated. But the things that bring those together are the venues, sometimes promoters like the radio stations, like university radio stations, CSJW sort of, I find brings a wide variety of Calgary's music together in one location, so that's nice.
I don't know about the industry itself, as in like the mainstream industry, but in the local industry, it's like completely important. It's everything. If you don't have people coming to the shows and buying the CDs and the merch, like you're not going to get anywhere.
And when you get out there, it does expand, and so you have to like sort of stay with it. And a big thing is don't expect to make any money at first. I mean, a little bit if you're putting on your own shows and stuff like that. But if you're playing other people's shows, it's hit or miss. It depends on the show, it depends on the promoter, it depends on who's playing. But if you hang in there, then you do start to make some money, and that starts to feel good.
Success at, guess that, local only fresh craft, coming from the coast and created a Midwest act.
In this week's episode, we sat down with a number of local Calgary talents, including Bell Armory, an all-girl rock band.
I always knew I wanted to be a musician. It's just I always wanted to take lessons, but my family, we never had money for lessons, so My first job at McDonald's, I bought a guitar. I was just kind of teaching myself chords from online, and I always loved music, always wanted to be a musician, and didn't get the guts to do it till later to try it.
That was a big thing, didn't get the guts to do it. I started singing and playing piano in church. My dad was a drummer, so kind of always had some kind of musical instrument in the house. And I started on piano when I was 12, so I was a bit older than most of the kids. And yeah, and then it just kind of evolved from there. I think it's pretty supportive. It's a small music scene, I think. I mean, it's growing, definitely. But like in comparison to other places like Vancouver or Montreal, like we're still a bit smaller, but I mean, it doesn't mean we're any less intense. I think we've got a lot of great bands and a lot to offer in terms of like our music scene goes. And
it's kind of neat that way too, because you'll meet new people and you know each other through other bands, and
it's pretty tightly knit. So I mean, I love it. I can pretty much go to a show any night of the week, weekend, and like there'll be someone there that I know, or if not, I've made a friend or made some connections. I was like, hey, let's play a show together. So I mean, that's always pretty awesome. Everyone's pretty open and accepting for the most part, so I think it's
for the most part, yeah.
And I think too, like being an all-female band too is
empowering.
It's empowering, and there's not a lot of bands. There are definitely more all-female bands coming up in Calgary, which is awesome, and I think that needs to happen more. I think everybody should learn an instrument, but I think, get the ladies together and make some noise.
Yeah.
I started performing when I was 5 years old, so I sang and performed at my grade 1 talent show, Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King. And I always knew I wanted to be a singer, but I was just afraid to take the jump to do it full time. So I studied something else, geology actually in university, and then 3 years ago just decided that it was what I wanted to do and couldn't do anything else. I chose jazz because my grandmother lived across the street from Nat King Cole in Los Angeles, so she passed down jazz to me through my family. When I first started out, I started going to open mics, so just getting out, meeting people, meeting other musicians, and then moving up from there. You can turn an open mic into a one-night gig, and then from there, getting something regular. I think it's definitely improved a lot in the last few years, especially since I've been full-time on the scene here. I've seen a lot of growth, which is amazing. I think a few years ago it wasn't as prominent as part of the culture scene, but now with the National Music Centre coming next year, it's actually a really exciting time in Calgary, and all the musicians and artists are really excited about what's coming up here. I think my advice would be that you have to be prepared to have failures. There's always going to be a lot of ups and downs, especially in any industry as an artist. And there's going to be times when you want to quit and you just can't. I think just to have the perseverance to get through all of those things and know that they're going to be coming and find a way to overcome them.
Before the break, we talked to up-and-coming musicians in Calgary. Now for the ones who make the big city less of a concrete jungle and more of a creative kingdom.
Well, all kids kind of are introduced to it, like painting and the little watercolor pucks and drawing and stuff. And then I realized I really liked it. And then you get your friends like, oh, you're so good at it. Can you draw me this? Can you draw me that? And that's when I was kind of like, oh, not only do I like it, but I'm good at it too. And it was probably right before high school that I was like, I want to be an artist. I don't know how, I don't know what I'm going to do, but for university, I'm I'm gonna go to university and have an art degree. I was 2 when Jurassic Park came out, and then I didn't see it in theaters, of course, as a 2-year-old. When it came out on VHS, it was mine and my brother's favorite movie, and ever since we've been like obsessed with dinosaurs and stuff like that. So little things kind of incorporate their way into my artwork, sort of everything that's a part of my life that makes up my life. The art scene in Calgary, I'd say I don't know, it has room to grow for sure. There aren't actually that many galleries really. It's not a big city either, so maybe it has just the right amount of art happening. Although I think, yeah, definitely there's room to grow for sure. I like where it is now though, because I feel like I have more of an opportunity to show my work. So I like Calgary now. I'm happy I'm here. I feel like I have the confidence to do this here. Whereas in Toronto, I felt like no one wants to see my stuff. No one wants to see my work. And I felt like that when I moved too. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this degree, but and then yeah, that's when I started the greeting card things. I started small, and the embrace was really, really, really great too. People kind of loved it right away, and it gave me the confidence to create more and try new things at a small investment too. So Calgary's been good. Definitely room to grow.
While dinosaurs can't be found everywhere in Calgary, you can find beautiful contemporary art. With various galleries of his work around Canada, including Calgary's own Nickel Arts Museum, Ron Moppet is one guy who knows a thing or two about color.
Well, as a child, I was always encouraged to draw, and it was something that I could find comfort in, and so my only dream in life as a young person was to go to art school. And I thought I would go to art school and end up working for Walt Disney as an animator. I've always loved at first to draw and then learn to paint, and it's something that I need to do, and I've been just privileged, I think, that I can spend my life doing that and to have people interested in what I do. And this show, of course, is a celebration of some part of what I've done over nearly 50 years. Well, as a professional artist, which I consider myself to be, you are a part of a number of communities, and so it's not so much that I hide out in my studio every day. I work every day, but you also have an obligation, I think, to work with your peers and to encourage other artists in their work, and to understand the various communities that you're part of, whether they're local or more regional or national even. Well, I have never tried to imagine what anybody will like or what anyone would buy. I am cognizant of what the art world looks like, and I've referred to that as sort of staying in shape as part of your profession. But I go into the studio, and there are no committee choices in my studio. I decide what it is I wish to make. And this is a show of things that are more sculptural than paintings as windows, so to speak. But no, I think one would be entirely foolish to try and imagine what would be a big seller or the next big thing or whatever. You can only be honest to your craft and hope that things work out for you.
I love to see the young people come in, and I love to see them develop from somewhat irresponsible young people into maturing and good artists. I like to see that. ACAD gives you a foundation in all, basically how to make art, thinking about art. It gives you a foundation in building art community, and of course community is important when you're starting off, so it's a great place for that. 30 years ago, when I was just starting out, that I would get to this point in my life and not know everything, I would have thought you were crazy, but it's doors open and things unfold exponentially. It's a never-ending learning art. It is that's one of its most wonderful things.
I really enjoy taking classes at ACAD. It's kind of like this little artistic side of Calgary that you don't often see in the media. We see a lot about oil and cowboys, which kind of makes sense, but Calgary actually has a lot of cool places like this to meet a lot of great people. If you look and if you're inspired to, and the classes help to get inspired to keep going. Tourists aren't going to come to Calgary for our great art pieces, and it hurts to say that growing up here, but I think that if you do look, there's a lot of cool places. There's Kensington, there's even just 17th and the murals around there, and it's actually a hidden cultural gem of it's kind of punk rock that there's people saying like, no, we won't just participate in the oil industry and Stampede and all of these kind of general things that Calgary is obviously here for, but we're gonna create anyways.
I guess when I was 16, I kind of got into modeling a little bit, and then I just really loved clothing. I took design in high school, and I just loved it, so that's kind of where I started with the design. I mean, the reason I started designing in the first place is because I love, giving that persona of what you are and what you want to be, and then, creating other people to have that same mentality of, I could wear that, or I could be that, or whatever. Like for me, every day I want to be somebody different, because what's the point in just having a boring life and picking up some t-shirt from the store. So I definitely think that being eccentric and being yourself and creating that into my fashion is something that I've definitely done. I think I put a lot of emotion into my work, so things that happen in my life I definitely tie into what I'm doing with my creativity and my fashion and stuff like that. I think talent is more important, because no matter the connections that you do have, you're never going to make it any further than what you're able to create. I think connections, though, is really what's going to get you there, but if you don't have the talent, I really don't think that you're gonna get anywhere anyway. I think the key to success in the fashion industry is definitely hard work and persistence, and you have to have something new all the time. People get bored if you're doing the same thing all the time, so I definitely think that working really hard at creating new things all the time is what's going to keep you going.
I wanted to go into fashion and styling actually a little bit sort of later on. It wasn't something that I decided from a younger age, so I probably looked into it and thought about doing it when I was probably about 26. But it was a little bit later in life, sort of, when I, thought more about clothing for myself and for my career. And then I thought, hey, maybe this is something that I want to do for myself for a living. It's about gaining confidence in yourself. Style really is a tool. If you look better, if you feel strong about what you're wearing, you sort of feel strong within yourself. At the end of the appointment when I leave, I'm so happy, and I feel so great. Every time I do this, I just have an amazing time, and that's the best part. I mean, if you want to start as a stylist working in Calgary, first you really want to decide, what does styling mean to you? Because there's a lot of avenues you could take. I mean, you could say, I want to work in editorial, or I want to work in television or something like that, working in styling behind the scenes. Or do you want to work one-to-one with women? Do you want to be somebody who focuses on helping people shop for clothing for special events. It's different than saying I want to work with somebody and go to their home and help them in their closet. You know, styling to me isn't something that you maybe need, you know, a 4-year degree in. It's something that you can kind of read yourself, and if it's something that's really true to you and that you love, it'll kind of come naturally to you. So it's just trying to find the best avenue to grow yourself.
I've been sewing since I was about 10, so a long time. And I used to work for lawyers, and I decided that I needed something different, and I was at a sewing craft fair, and they had an advertisement for the school, and I decided that it was a good idea to do this because it's something that I've always wanted to do. They have a lot of different programs that'll get you out there working. And they have their days when the industry people will come in and talk to you. They offer a lot of connections to the industry, which is quite good. I really actually don't know a lot about the fashion culture. I'm more towards the costume side of it. So I do a lot of work in the community theater. So I really am not too sure about the fashion industry in Calgary too much.
I've always been interested in the fashion industry pretty much. I just want to better my sewing skills and learn more and hopefully get in the industry. Career goal is I am a costume major, so eventually I want to work in preferably like film and TV. I think Calgary has a really good diverse fashion culture, and it's really interesting to look at everyone and how they dress and how they express themselves.
From musicians making a name for themselves in local venues to artists providing color where it's needed most, the fashionistas helping people feel good in what they wear, Calgary is brimming with local talent. Though you may not notice it just by walking down the street, hometown creators are everywhere you turn.